I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Plaggio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond. As we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
Hey, we got a couple things going on today. First of all, you probably recognize this if you're a regular watcher of the show. This is Nate Zelinsky, one of the premier guides, fishing guides in Colorado, and a great outdoorsman. Nate, great to fish with you again.
Absolutely, Terry. I look forward to it.
It's going to be fun. We're on a metro reservoir in Denver, Colorado, Cherry Creek Reservoir. What's it, 800, 900 acres, something like that?
Real small, exactly, just like that.
It's got incredible walleye fishing, but a lot of people don't catch them here.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, it's an incredible walleye lake. Now, you guide on a number of lakes. We'll tell people more about that as we get out in the water and things. But we're going to do a couple things today. We're here at Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. So we're early May, and a lot of people won't fish this lake till June when that summer peak comes.
Exactly. That's what you say. You know, people do catch fish here, but they catch them later in the season.
Right. They don't understand that the quality fishing is in the spring, April, May, before you even March sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's very, very good fishing at times. And we're going to do a couple things. Now, you've been out doing a little fishing this week. You've been catching most of them trolling lead core. And we're going to tell you a little bit about taking crankbaits and trolling lead core. A lot of people think that crankbaits are warm water, that you need bait when the water's cold like it is today. Not the case, is it?
Not the case at all. Cranks will produce fish almost year-round. It's just a matter of how you apply them, and that's what we're going to show people today.
Exactly. And I'll tell you the other thing, we had a cold front come through yesterday.
Yep.
So we're going to take, and we're going to start out trolling, because that's what you've been doing before that. But we're also prepared where we may have to go through a progression of different techniques.
Absolutely.
We've got some linear rigs with some live bait to try. We've got some spoons, and we could do some casting of jigs. A number of methods. It's going to depend on where we find the fish if we don't start getting them trolled.
Where they're at and kind of how they're acting. Exactly.
So we're going to go with one of the best guides in this part of the country. We're going to go to a metro lake that he guides on and teach you about catching maybe walleyes in the off season with good fish.
Absolutely.
Let's get out there.
Let's do it. That's it. Boy, you know, the coolest thing about lead, when they hit it, they just clobber it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Once you get it down there in their face, it's a nice little walleye.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, people think crankbait, cold water, they think you got to have minnows.
Yeah.
Here we are catching walleyes, 52-degree water.
Exactly.
This is a nice average fish for this lake. All right.
You know, it's a little small, but I mean, no matter what, it's all just building those little patterns. You know, like that one there came just off the bottom and hit that bright colored crank. That's another thing. How many people would never use pink for walleye?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
They hear pink and they think trout.
Does that look like a manly color? You know, it's just, you're absolutely right. And I'm one too that sometimes I have to be shocked. And we all have these colors. Those of us that fish a lot. We all have our favorite color you reach for. But
get him back.
Let's get us going. Let's get another one.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, but that's the biggest thing is you just gotta keep changing it up till you get those fish to hit.
Well, you know, folks, a lot of people would hesitate. Nate, we were talking while we were landing that fish. You know, the water temperature right now is where we at. It's a little warmer than I thought. It's
we're you know, mid 50s right now.
Mid 50s, and that's because it's later in the day and the sun is warming the surface. But a lot of people won't pull crankbaits in that kind of water because they think you got to get a live bait and just dangle it right in front of them.
You know, as long as you really watch the shape and the style of your cranks will produce walleyes all year long.
Well, one of my best patterns on this lake when I used to live by Cherry Creek Reservoir was pulling crankbaits in March.
Yep.
On lead core, just like we're doing now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to catch fish, and again, you just got to determine that shape and size for those fish, but it's going to work. And like right now, we're in the basin of Cherry Creek right now, so these fish are deeper. Again, that's that springtime kind of thing. They haven't moved up on the shallow water. And this lead core with these cranks, we cover so much water. No matter what, if you like trolling, not like trolling, it's a way to put your bait in front of more fish. And I always tell people that the more fish that see your bait, the more fish you're going to catch.
Well, what we could do in a situation like this too is if we would keep finding a spot and get a concentration of fish, then we can turn around and go back and jig it or lindy rig it or something.
Absolutely.
But to this point, we haven't yet. So where the fish are spread out, and if you take and do that, when they're spread out like that, you can waste so much time when you're not making a presentation of fish.
No, that's it. Keep trolling, keep picking them up. You know, now, you don't gotta tell me, that was obviously the first time we caught that fish on pink, and what did we do? We just left one pink lure out. Boom, same spot, spun around, second one on pink.
Same spot.
Same spot, you're not gonna have to tell me twice. We're gonna put some more pink lures on.
Same depth.
You know, small things are the pattern. We got a lot of bright colored baits on, a lot of similar baits, but
hard to tell, but it feels like a better fish.
It looks definitely better than that last one, for sure.
Yep, we're getting bigger. At this rate, we catch, you know, a few more, they'll be like 18 pounds. You know? Oh, yeah, that's a better fish. That's not a giant, just a nice.
But no, just another nice, healthy fish.
Where do you want it? Over here?
Right there.
Okay. Well, that's a nice, healthy fish. That's got a nice. It's got a gut on it.
That's what you want. Oh, doubles.
All right, go ahead and get that one. All right. Let me get this one.
Well, that one's fighting good.
I suppose you're gonna want me to put my fish down to net yours.
You know exactly how it is. You know, at least you know your place when fishing with me, though. You know? Tell you, this fish is nice that I got on here.
Does it feel pretty good?
It feels pretty good. It's all about building that pattern. We kind of got a spot located now.
Now you caught on a different color, so now we got to wonder.
Exactly. We're going to have to see what color that is and kind of see from there.
So we keeping some, or are we putting this back?
We can keep some fish, absolutely. That's that perfect eater-sized fish.
Oh, that's a beautiful, nice keeper walleye here at Cherry Creek. Fat, nice weight. You got it, or you need me to help?
I got it.
We'll keep it long enough to see if mine's bigger. I don't know. That's pretty.
I'll tell you what, that fish right there shocked me. That felt like a much larger walleye.
They look like twins, though. Let's get them up here.
They do.
Let's see, you know, if I get a hold of it here. Well,
you got it?
I got him. Let's see. Yeah, mine's way big. Mine's way bigger. They're cookie cutters. Look at them.
That's it.
Twins. Nice twin walleyes. Cherry Creek Reservoir.
That's
Nathan
right here in Metro.
I'll tell you what, folks. People fly up to Canada to go catch fish. We're right in the metropolitan area of Denver, Colorado. We're right off. There's a major interstate on the other side of that dam. There's houses all around us, although you can't tell to look at the lake shore.
You can't. No. Beautiful fish. Metro.
And we're catching fish like this. Nice eater size, good walleyes, chunky. Look at the shoulders and belly on
That's
those. Those
it.
are beautiful, beautiful fish, and there's a ton of them in here.
There's a ton of them, and not to mention, you know, these are the size fish. You just saw us catch these too, but the odds of us hooking a fish even in double digits is a possibility. And that's the cool thing about fishing these type lakes is, yeah, we just caught some small ones, but if we hook a 10-pounder right now, by no means would that be a rarity.
Oh no,
per se.
this lake has such
You know?
great, this one in Chatfield, another lake that
Yep,
you guide on that are both
absolutely.
in the metro area here, are both abundant with bait would be an understatement.
Yeah, exactly.
Tremendous amount of shad, which can make them difficult to fish at times.
Yep.
But because of that, the growth rate in these lakes is phenomenal, and a lot of those big fish aren't very vulnerable to the average angler.
Exactly.
Because they're very difficult to catch at times.
Yep, there's so much food and all that, like you mentioned.
But the growth rate, I mean, there's fish in here that the Division of Wildlife has figured would have pushed 20 pounds.
Absolutely. I mean, they
during
see
the
them every
spawn,
spring
when
in the
they
spawn,
spawn.
20-pound walleyes.
And we're talking the world record is 22 pounds.
Yep.
The record, the state record in Colorado is what?
18,
13.
Yep.
So it's almost 19 pounds. So it's not unheard of that you could catch a world record fish right here
Right here,
downtown.
right where we're sitting.
Now, that would be a rare. That would be a rarity.
That would be a rarity.
But to catch a big fish, to catch numbers of fish like this, now you get into June, you're going to catch 100 fish a day.
Exactly.
But you're going to have trouble catching those bigger ones.
Bigger fish, yep.
But the
Yep.
action is steady. You've got to work a
Absolutely.
little harder right now. We're here, it's Cinco de Mayo, so it's the 5th of May.
Absolutely.
And we're probably just getting to the tail end of the big fish bite.
Yep.
Haven't
Yep.
started the mass migration moving up where the bite is
Exactly.
crazy. We're still
Exactly.
catching quality
Our fish are grouped together. Again, we're going to see a lot of those fish, 3-4-year-olds, 17 to 22, 23 inches in this type of bite right now. But like you said, chance for those bigger ones are there. And coming up here in the next couple weeks, these fish are going to migrate out of these deeper basins up onto the structure. And like you said, that's when those young males just go crazy.
It's time now for Terry's tackle tip of the week.
You know, as far as our approach today is we're pulling lead core line. Now, a lot of people have heard of lead core, use it, might not have used it. What it is a weighted line to help get a bait to deeper depths. We're pulling basically a Rapala shad wrap, so a small shad style bait, little shorter, a little thicker in profile. It's got a nice wobble to it, but on an average troll with straight line, this bait's only going to dive 10, 12, maybe 13 feet, but we need to get this bait down to 22, 23 feet of water, so we're using that lead core. It's going to help us get that weighted line, get that bait right to the depth that those walleyes want to take it
you
at.
have great depth control. If you maintain your speed and the amount of lead core out, you can maintain that depth,
Yep.
so it's repeatable. If you look, we both have very bright colors.
Absolutely.
Now, at first, we caught the first two on this pink and kind of silver white pearl. This one is chartreuse with orange.
Yep.
Not much similarity to color. The shape, the action are identical.
Yep.
Depth run is identical. Both very bright, though. The
Yep.
water is not real clear here.
Nope, we
And
definitely have some dirty water.
So right now, I don't know if I'd change. We talked about changing the pink
Yep,
after we
yep.
caught two, but now I would just stay with bright lures.
And a lot of the thing too is just finding that zone. We keep playing with the zone, trying to find where the most active fish are, and that could be huge that we just got into that perfect zone.
Those three fish all came off that same spot.
Exactly.
Well, I think now
Exactly.
when we let this out, now you use a line counter on your
Yep.
lead core. So what we're gonna do is get these in the water. You always make sure that the lure runs good. And then you start letting it out. Now we have about a 10-foot mono leader on here. And what do you want me out here, about 100?
We're gonna run that about 100, 105 feet.
Which would be about 3.5 colors of lead. There's 10 yards every color of lead. You'll hear people say I'm 2 colors out, I'm 3 colors out, I'm 5 colors out. So you can figure at the speeds we're going, probably get about 5 feet per color, Nate.
Probably real close to that.
A
Yep.
little more maybe because we're going
Yep.
a little slow.
Absolutely.
And then the lure will dive a little bit with that 10-foot leader we've got. So we're probably getting the lead core, taking it down to 15, 18 feet, and then the diving of the lure a couple feet
Pull
more.
it a couple more feet. That, you know, and our deal zone right now, those fish came probably 8 to 10 inches off the bottom, something like that. Not saying you have to be that precise. Some days you do, some days you don't. But you know, the line counters and even nothing else, just the colored line helps you get to that exact zone, and that is important.
That was Terry's tackle tip for this week, and now back to more angling adventures.
Where's your net?
You know, Terry, I love lead core. It's good to get at the depth, but they feel so big. You know, I mean,
No stretch in
we
it.
catch a lot of fish, but even, you know, even a 17, 18 incher, I don't know what this one is, but they just feel so big on lead. It's so fun.
I know there's no stretch in it, so you feel
You
every
know?
little head shake.
I mean, it's neat. I mean, you feel everything that walleye's got, you feel it, you know?
On the size of the fish you typically catch, you need that extra weight.
Yeah.
What do you think? Any idea?
Oh, he's a nice fish. That's
Oh, it is another nice.
nice right there. Now, are you going to do this right, or are you going to stab and knock him off for me?
Well, it depends on how you bring them in.
Oh, there we go.
We might have done this before. I'll tell you what, the fish we're catching are just out of the same year class and mold.
Yep.
They're just cookie cutter fish.
You know,
See if I
that's,
can get him without getting a crankbait in my hand. Right.
you know, and again, just a great
pliers
fish,
I'll pull
and we got the pattern. That's the most important thing to learn is we got the pattern. We kind of trolled around here a little bit, looking for them, seeing some fish on the graph, and the crazy thing is we saw fish everywhere.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the fish on this pass are active.
And one right after another now, these cookie cutter fish, and I think that one's probably just a hair short.
Yep,
We're gonna put that
just
one
a hair
back.
short.
We're gonna put that one back, but right now, the last half hour, it's been fish on,
Just
fish
been
on,
fishing
fish on.
on.
It's been crazy.
Exactly.
You know, while we're out here, we keep watching. The bite's been going crazy lately, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the other guiding you do.
Okay.
So you guide, and we've done it. We did a show in Chatfield.
Yep.
But let's talk a little bit about some of the other guiding you do. You guide on what, about half a dozen lakes?
Absolutely. You know, I'm guiding on, I have a variety of lakes right here on the Front Range close to Denver, and primarily walleye, smallmouth bass, even in summer do some catfish, but primarily walleye down here on the Front Range. And then I have a handful of lakes up in the high country, and that's really where I open up to a variety of species. I guided Antero for just monster trophy trout fishing. And it's pretty much all the trout species, rainbows, cutthroats, browns, things of that type nature. And then just downstream from there, I guide at Spinney and 11 Mile, which have some of the best pike fishing anywhere in the country as far as I'm concerned.
But also great trout lakes. And
Trout, absolutely, great trout lakes, and 11 Mile's also got kokanee, but on especially Spinney and 11 Mile, I put a lot of focus into those big northerns.
There's people that pay for trips to go to Canada all the time.
Yep.
And they'll head up there, and they don't realize, I think, that we have some incredible quality pike fishing in Colorado.
That's, I can't keep up with Canada for numbers of pike, but for sheer size. I mean, I get fish touching 30 pounds every single spring and every fall, and a 30-pound northern is huge.
Oh, it's a big fish. You're pushing the state record.
Absolutely.
What's the state record?
State record right now is 30 pounds, 6 ounces. I get right there at that 29, 30. Last year I had 2 fish break 31 pounds. I didn't know if they were going to make it to the scale before they died and lose that weight. So we threw both fish back, but on my scale in the boat, they both broke the state record.
Wow. And this is, I'm telling you folks, this is incredible fishing. If you can see the pictures of these pike, how long is a 30-pound pike?
And our pike are short, 45 inches, 46 inches.
Yeah.
I mean, they're short, thick monster fish.
You're telling these people who catch 8 and 10 inch trout that they're short 45 inches, but tremendous. And you put a lot of time, and you know those lakes.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
the things you've got going for you in your guide service is you got the South Park area, Antero, 11 Mile Spinney, which you just virtually live on when you're not fishing here.
Absolutely.
And you have Cherry Creek and Chatfield.
Yep.
And I don't know, is that your
That's primarily the biggest part of the lake.
and those are your warm water species.
Yep.
So you got 2 metro prime walleye smallmouth type fisheries that are just incredible, that get fished a lot, but people don't catch a lot of fish out.
Absolutely.
Then you've got 2 or 3 lakes that are just famous for their fishing that you can introduce people to and put them on just a variety of species. And not only, you do some fly fishing out of your boat.
I do a lot of stillwater, again, up at Spinney and Antero. I mean, and those lakes, I mean, you can't describe it at how good they are because we have quality fish, just the overall health of the fish, extremely hard fighting. And then we get high numbers of fish up there, which is incredible, especially a day on a flyer for a guy who, 1, wants to have a good day fly fishing, but 2, maybe a beginner. You talk about being on the boat, fishing a lot of indicators, nymphing, things like that, but you're not in a river. So 1, you can cast easy. You stand on the back of this boat, there's no trees to hit, there's nothing to get tangled up and get in your way. And the other big thing too is you're not dealing with current, having to work flies correctly and how to land fish in that. It's a great way to learn to fly fish out here on a boat like that.
Well, you're absolutely right. Hopefully we were able to put some pictures of some of the other fish up there. I know we've got some from you. Just understand, I hate to say this in front of him because we've been friends so long, but Nate's been a frequent contributor on both my radio and television shows, and You're just a knowledgeable outdoorsman, hunting and fishing. You do a lot of things. People can learn so much from you. It's your life. You're not a part-time guy. You really understand this. And as he's as knowledgeable an angler in the hunting side, just blows me away. This guy is an outdoorsman extraordinaire, and a day with him will just accelerate your own learning curve. I'll tell you what, let's get back and catch some more fish.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Well, we started late and we're going to quit early.
There you go.
Banker's hours fishing.
That's it.
Had a pretty good day. Took us a while to find them.
Yeah.
And we actually did well once found them, and quality fish.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's the thing. You got to put your time in. That's one of the biggest things to learn is pay attention to all the small details, and it always works out for you.
Oh, you're absolutely right. But you know, what a beautiful day. And we didn't start fishing till mid-morning, and I have another commitment this afternoon, so I've got to leave early. But it just shows you don't have to have, most of your guide trips aren't a whole day.
Nope, absolutely. You know, spend a good 6 hours on the water. That's really all you're going to need to get into a bunch of fish here on these type lakes, you know?
It's just awesome. So I tell you what, we're going to put Nate's information right up here. We'll have it again in the credits, but you guide pretty much year-round.
Yeah, that's it. You know, 365 days a year, and you know, pretty much we always have something going. If somebody were to come into town or looking for something between the Front Range Metro and the high country, there's always a decent bite happening. You know, if you're not picky on species, between the lakes I guide, there's always something biting.
Oh, you can always put them on fish.
Exactly.
And wintertime it might be ice fishing.
Yep,
He's a
exactly.
great ice fisherman and really loves that. If you've never done that, that's a good, you do a school in fact.
I even teach an ice fishing school, exactly.
Yeah, right, so it's just awesome. So I tell you what, you just, don't be afraid to get out. Wherever you live, where you're seeing this in a metro area, there's probably lakes near you that you think are too tough to fish or that you don't spend time on because they're crowded. Times of the year like this, the shoulder seasons, the lake's not crowded.
No.
There's half a dozen boats out here.
It's beautiful out.
It's a beautiful day and we're catching fish. And if you live in the Denver metro area, or if you're coming to Colorado, or you live in Colorado, get a hold of Nate, spend a day in the water. You'll learn so much about how to enjoy both these lakes and the mountain lakes, and join us next week on Angling Adventures.